I'ma start this vid with a hot take. Ed Wuncler might just be a bigger manipulator than Askeladd, and I don't say that lightly. Askeladd put the biggest finesse on Thorfinn. If you know, you know. Now, to give you context on what happened before all of this, I'ma need you to lock in. So Huey used to play kickball for Mr. Wuncler, and you know what I'm saying, Brody was nice. In fact, he was so nice that he sent a Rasengan straight to this girl's chest, basically ending her hoop dreams. But it actually turns out that Mr. Wuncler faked her whole injury just to get Huey to stop playing kickball. But now that this nigga owes money to the Chinese and bet the whole neighborhood of Woodcrest up for collateral, Masa and Huey had to call up the squad, and they all had to tee up because they knew this was not finna be a game. Mad blood was finna be shed on that field. Now, the first two people to match up was Masa and Huey and Ming, and Huey thought this shit was finna be free eats, so he straight up launched that shit. But let me tell you something about the Chinese. No racism, but dumb niggas do got a very particular set of skills, kickball being one of them. So with that being said, Ming punched that shit straight out the arena, scoring them their first point. Now, honestly, this should not have been a surprise to nobody. You see how Shorty was moving before this shit even started? My son Huey should have known nothing was finna be free about this. So when the second lady hopped on, Huey knew he can't take this shit lightly this time. He gotta take it seriously. So Brody sent that shit flying. And bro, I don't know if this bitch forgot what show she was in. I don't know if she thought she was in JJK. I don't know if she thought her name was Thorfinn Karlsefni, cause she hit the meanest spin I've ever seen in this whole show and sent that ball straight into orbit. So then Ed Wuncler came around trying to rage bait Huey into locking in.
What the hell do you call this?
I'm trying, alright?
Get your shit together.
He was getting hated on by everybody. It's only been 2 possessions. I don't know why they were calling him trash. Even his own brother was hating.
You suck, Huey!
You worthless motherfucker.
But something to know about the GOAT is that he does not like to be laughed at all. So with that being said, he takes a deep breath in. Getting 2 kickers on the opposite team striked out. Now Huey gets the ball back, right? And this nigga who they said is 12 years old. Yes, nigga, I kid you not, 12 years old.
Dolo is strong and healthy, like many kids in China. But I assure you, he is only 12 years old.
Cap.
Yeah, I know my people when I see them, alright? This nigga's name is Dolo. He's 6'2". Yeah, he is not 12 years old or Chinese. But Huey pitches the ball to Dolo, and Dolo hit that ball with a key blast. He sent my man's flying to that wall. Left him looking worse than Halliburton in Game 7, which they would have won had he still been there. Not even a Pacers fan, but fuck OKC. Woodcrest got 3 outs, so they switched sides with Huey first up. Ming threw the ball, but Huey went for the easy lay, scoring them a home run. Now, next up to the pitch was my nigga Riley. And this nigga was pointing to the sky like he was Aaron Yeager, thinking that shit was gonna get him a home run. But he strikes out 3 times. 3 times. In the same fashion.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Now, next up was Tom Dubois, Mr. I Let Usher Steal My Girl, and then sung his song in a mirror.
It's gonna burn for me to say this, but it's coming from my heart.
Yo, this nigga must have thought he was a bad bitch or something. Why is he singing the lyrics to another man's song in a mirror like that? That's crazy. Now, Tom, despite all the hating, actually manages to kick the ball a pretty decent distance on his first try. But as you're about to see, all that celebrating was done in vain, because this eat man built ass nigga kicks the ball to Ming, and I can tell just by judging her facial expressions, she hates to see a Negro happy. So she chucked that ball straight to his head, laying him flat out. Hey man, it's alright, Tom, but just know your wife is leaving with Usher tonight. What do we tell you? So then Robert steps up next, and Ming pitches the ball to him, and he kicks the ball right back to her. He tried to lead the area with no body shots, but she ain't give a damn. Straight up snipe that nigga. And with that sorry ass excuse of a performance, Woodcrest gets 3 outs. Masa and Huey gotta lock in. So we come back to Saquon Dolo, who kicks the ball and then slide tackles a nigga like he playing Madden. And this how I know the refs was getting to that breach. As soon as that man Butch kicked the ball and started running, he got attacked by shoes, and the refs did nothing. And then to make it worse, Tibbet starts running and he gets jumped by niggas with brass knuckles and baseball bats. Asian on Asian crime, you hate to see it. Now, the game goes into halftime, and Huey and his whole team have been getting cooked all game. And see, Huey wants to go home, but none of the team wants to go out like, in Riley's words, a bunch of little bitches. They were getting did bad worse than Vegeta, but they still wanted to keep fighting. That's respectable. But then Ed Wuncler, this instigating ass nigga, somehow finds a way to drop one of the most unfortunate but realest bars I've ever heard.
Well, we're Americans. We don't quit just because we're wrong. We just keep doing the wrong thing until it turns out right.
This nigga got got the manipulation skills of a toxic Latina, or any Latina in general. I gotta learn from bro. One sir tells Huey if he tightens up, they can all go home. So Huey locks in like Luffy in the clutch and steps back onto that field. The game starts back up again, and my son Huey steps onto that plate. Ming was pitching the ball, but Huey wasted no time striking that shit down. Even sending 2 opposing players to the bench and scoring their first 3-pointer. That's mad disrespectful. And the ref, that guy right there, Mr. I'm the easiest man to bribe in all of America, somehow gets kidnapped, putting the whole game on pause. So we cut to a little timeout, and Ming, unprovoked, nobody asked by the way, starts chatting about her childhood to Huey like he cares or something, saying if they lose this game, they all go into a Chinese concentration camp.
We do not care.
So Huey, being the only person on his team with the soul, starts to rethink all of his actions. So we then cut to Ed telling Lone Dude that the ref he had paid off somehow managed to strangle himself, toss himself off a bridge, and then overdose on perk 30s. And then, like a bastard, Lone Dude decides to pay it no mind and says to keep playing the game. I expected absolutely nothing less from a goofy like him. And just when things look like they couldn't get any better for the Woodcrest team, the new referee turns out to be my son, Uncle Ruckus. Alright, my son is kind of crazy. Now when Huey goes back to shooting, he starts missing wide open 3-pointers, all cause he feels bad for Ming. Now her team starts laughing and talking shit about this nigga in Chinese, and that's because Ming finessed them. Now, as I stated earlier in this video, Huey does not like to be laughed at all. So he responds with,
我不喜欢人家讥笑我.
Yo, my fault Huey, I was unfamiliar with your game. This shit is peak anime writing. So while they were confused, he sent the ball to the boy who was off base, scoring the out. Then he does a spin move pick straight to the other girl, catching the second out. Now from here on out, it was straight war. A old lady got hit, Tom Dubois got tripped down for an elbow. Dog, do you see the glee in this little nigga's face? The passion that he took in inflicting harm on this man? What's going on here? The Chinese was steady getting that belt. So Long Dude tried to pay Ruckus off, but Ruckus was like,
Hold on. Your money ain't worth shit to me. So don't waste your cat-flavored breath. Get on your rickshaw, get out of here, yalla nigga.
We then see that both teams are severely cooked, and that it's now a 1v1, the GOAT versus Ming. So we start off with Huey straight up airbending the ball, and for a split second, I forgot just 2 seconds ago I was watching a game of kickball. He threw the ball up in the air and then kicked it straight at Ming, lighting it on fire. Now she manages to catch the ball, but breaks the fucking bones in her legs in the process. The fact that this shit is even sanctioned is insane to me. The type of shit only tight Kubo would let slide. Now this moment right here is where my son Huey went from being a pup to a fucking dog. Huey catches the ball and broke his arms, got him looking worse than Edward Elric out here. The ball gets destroyed, and then Huey shows everyone why he's the GOAT. Ming was trying to walk to the next base, but just then Huey got up. So Huey then picked up the destroyed ball, and with mad aura, he confidently walked her down. He then drops the ball on her leg, winning the game for his team, and that was all she wrote.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
I appreciate all y'all for watching. I got more heat dropping real soon, so stay tuned. Let me know what y'all trying to see next, and I'm gonna see all y'all in the next vid, man.
Get jiggy, 1-2 step in the box. 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 Get jiggy.